The Maltese vegan. So I'm about to do some burgers. Not those kind of burgers, but portobello mushroom burgers. Some very nice, huge ones actually. Look at my hands. It's obviously not going to be raw because you can't eat raw mushrooms, because the heat itself is used to eliminate the toxins on the mushrooms. I'm going to put some tomatoes over here, some basil, some mustards. This is harissa, brought from Tunisia. Look, I think it's spelled Harissa. Some black pepper, some not soy sauce, it's actually shoyu sauce. It tends to have less salt in it. In fact, it says over here, less salt. So all you have to do is heat the pan. The recipes I've seen usually require oil, but really and truly you really don't need oil. The worst that can happen is that part of the mushroom might get stuck, but it's only the surface, the skin part I'd call it, and that's all. It's obviously important to turn on your electric cooker if it's electric, waiting it for it to heat. So I think the pan is hot right now. In fact, the pan isn't large enough, and I'm gonna have to do one at a time. I give these about 5 minutes on each side. Round it off, but just stare at it if you want, or else you can do as I'm doing. And I'm gonna start preparing the bread over here, but I also decided to add some caramelized onions. Once again, not raw, I know, and in this case it's not really a good exception, but well, I mean, I'm cooking also for my mother, so might as well do it as she likes it, caramelized. Once the mushrooms are ready, I'll use the same pan to caramelize the onions. Once again, no oil. So that's the harissa I was talking to you about. Just spread the mustard and the harissa. In fact, I think I've put a bit too much harissa, so my mother will probably kill me unless I kill her first with the spice. Okay, I'm back again, and she specifically requested that I specify that she's used to spicy food because she eats lots of spicy food in Tunisia. I don't know if you probably noticed, it's actually shrinking a bit, which is actually a good thing because it means that it's gonna fit in the bread spun, but trust me, it will still remain really juicy. While it's halfway through the first 5 minutes, just pour a bit of soy sauce, or shoyu sauce actually. It won't do much at first, but once you flip it over, it kind of caramelizes and gives it a nice taste. Not that the portobello mushroom doesn't have a really nice taste, but you know what I mean. Only you could smell, at least you can see, but you only could smell. Some pepper. Don't know if you heard the timer just go off, so it's time to flip it over. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. As you can see, it's not sticking at all, no oil and not sticking. So it's another 5 minutes on the timer. There's the two portobello mushrooms ready and cooked. Now moving over to the onions. So the trick that I use, or at least I think it's a trick, to cook the onions without any oil, it's first of all to have a hot pan. Make sure the onion is relatively loose, not still, in bunches, let's say. Sorry for all the noise. Once you've separated them, then you have to lower the temperature a bit to, well, let's say, medium-high. And wait for them to start browning slightly. They kind of start sticking a bit to the pan, and that's the perfect time to move on to the next step. So now that they've started to brown up, and in fact they're starting to stick a bit to the bottom, I suggest that you pour about 3 tablespoons of water, or maybe 2, in fact. Stir them around a bit and cover them for about 2 to 3 minutes maybe. So you have to kind of play around a bit and use a bit of common sense and kind of check if it's been cooked properly, cooked through. So maybe the times were a bit off, but well, I mean, kind of got the right result now. So you can see they're caramelized, brown, they smell divine. Obviously you can't smell that, but trust me. And now we can start plating. So here's the burger that's partially plated. Obviously, ideally, for aesthetically, it might be better to have browned buns, but well, that's what the supermarket had. Put some tomatoes, and some lovely fresh basil. You can do as much as you want, obviously, but it's good to have, first of all, for some flavor, and secondly, to add some greens to your plate. Since it's not really raw and it's quite waterless, let's say, I would suggest that you do drink a lot of water before, during, and after this meal. But yeah, so that's the finished product. Enjoy.